Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's masterclass. Today we are conquering antonyms. If you know that your mic is on, kindly unmute them to avoid chorus answer. So today we are going to do antonyms. Now, don't let the word deceive you. This isn't primary antonyms whereby you just check the opposites. Yeah, the same case we did with synonyms. Now we're going to do with antonyms. We are not focusing on just the word itself. We want to look at the entire word in the sentence and answer the antonyms based on the context. That's just the key to answering antonyms. JAM knows that every one of you understand what opposite means. Antonyms is just like the opposite of synonyms, which means opposite in meaning. Whenever you're given a word, they want to see your skills in terms of the concept. They want to see the bigger picture. They are not just focusing on just the literal opposite. That's the dictionary opposite. That's the essence of them giving you a sentence and telling you to like briefly check the one that means opposite in meaning to the sentence, not just the word alone. So that's why it's always important you focus on the context itself. They know you get anxious under the time pressure and accidentally select antonyms instead of what opposites. So today we change that narrative. So let's get our brain active. But first, before we move on to the next one, can you type the opposite of big on the chat box or in the chat box? Type the opposite of big. Okay. David small. Faith small. David small. Yeah, good. Thank you for that. How about happy? Happy. Sad. Good, good, good. Good. Easy, right? But what if I tell you that in post-UTME exam or the simplest word becomes deadly trapdoors because of how they are framed in sentence? So let's look at why. I'm going to share this slide with you. I think I have not. Okay, so antonyms masterclass. Okay, so let's see. What is antonyms? Antonyms are words with opposite meanings. However, in examination conditions, you are not just looking for any opposite, but the most accurate one in context. It's just like we did in synonyms. I said that you're not just looking at the one similar in meaning, you want to focus on the context itself to give you what your answers. Post-UTME level, Nigerian's university screening test evaluates your mastery of vocabulary nuances. So the questions are designed to test three pillars: semantic range, contextual fit, and absolute precision. So, when many students are in pressure, they forget about the instructions and they simply go for the one that is clearly nearest in meaning to the sentence, which is wrong. Yeah, so it's always important you pay attention to the instruction given to you in any exam that you are presented with. Please always pay attention to the instructions. That way you can easily answer the questions. Don't go off topic or off instructions. because so many students, whenever they get in the examination and they are faced with pressure, they tend to like simply go, like they get over excited and simply go for the one that is not given in the instruction. That is, for example, when they want to tackle antonyms question, they simply go for the one that is nearest in meaning. And that's one of the ways that the examiners trap you. So the gold rule, always analyze the sentence carefully before looking at the options. I think that way it will save you a lot of error. Determine the exact tone, part of speech, and specific sense in which the word is used. I believe every one of you understand part of speech. Now, the word form, is it noun? Are you presented with noun? Are you presented with pronoun, adjective, verb, conjunction? So that way, you can even check the environment of the word. Look at the words used before or after. Always don't just focus on the underlined word that I will say. Pay attention to the sentence as a whole to check your answers. And I want to congratulate everyone that did the previous previous tasks that I gave to you. Your efforts are really appreciated. So I would always indulge you to always pay attention to all the parties questions that is being discussed in these lessons, even the ones that I sent to you in the past on the WhatsApp group. Always pay attention, make sure you do them. If you don't pass it, you can retake it. Ensure you pass it minimum of 80%. For excellent students, you can even make sure you pass it for till 100%. I think that way you'll be fully prepared, because the question that we are doing here, I won't use all my mouth to say that they are life questions, but kindly take them seriously. Okay, so let's move on to this slide. So look at this simple word for word pairs. Hot, cold. You know, when it's not hot, it's cold. Fast, slow, happy, sad. Crucial realization in pursuit context. Okay, pursuit context dictates everything. For example, the opposite of soft is soft voice. In soft voice is loud, but in soft surface, it is what hard. So that's why I said the context always determine, not just the word in general. For WAEC people, you know, some people like soft life. They don't want any stress. When they see the word, they will just go for the literal opposite. However, the context determine. If you have any question as we are proceeding, please do not hesitate to ask. I'll be happy to answer them accordingly. So exam strategies and trap. The three-step process. Please decode the context to find the word's meaning in the given sentence. Always decode the context. Unspecifically for the exact opposite, use elimination on options that are synonyms or irrelevant. Please, this is very important. Whenever you see options, I said that the first thing for you to do is to analyze the question, try to know the scope of the question. Please unmute yourself. Unmute, please. Oh, sorry, mute yourself. Sorry. Not unmute, mute. Okay. So I said the first thing is for you to analyze the question, try to decode the context of the words that is underlined. Decode the context. Next is for you to unspecify for the opposite of it. So that's when you would look at the option. Kindly eliminate. Elimination means you should cancel or strike out the ones that are similar in meaning with the underlined word. Because now in this case, we are looking at opposite in meaning, not similar in meaning. So that way you can answer your question. So you go for the one opposite. That's antonyms means opposites in meaning, please. Trap 1, the synonyms bit. Examiners notoriously place highly accurate synonyms as option A. Under exam pressure, students click it immediately. Avoid this slip, please. Just put it at the back of your head that synonyms mean similar in meaning. Similar in meaning means nearly the same or the same in meaning. They share the same meaning. However, opposite is what? Antonyms. Yeah, for students that don't know it, yeah, kindly let that stick in your brain. The second one, okay, the last one is close but wrong. That's trap 2. Selecting an option with general negative vibes that don't form a precise semantic contrast with the target word. Always look for grammatically equivalence. Yeah, that's why I always said I should check the part of speech. Yeah, sometimes some student got trapped with that. Kindly check for this kind of words. So do not rush. Take about 15 seconds to double check if your chosen answer is an opposite or a synonyms. I think that will save you a lot of mistakes. Okay, let's look at this question. The man was very generous. Please type your answers on the chat. Look at your option. The man was very generous. So look at your option. Am I opening a 30-second chat pause now? Okay. The man is very generous. Okay. I was scared when I saw sad. Okay. I've forgotten that. That was the questions I asked previously. Okay. Stingy. Why is your answer stingy? Can you tell me? One person should. Okay. You can tell me on the chat box. Why is the answer stingy? Why is it stingy? Why is it not friendly or polite? Let me see if anyone can explain that. Why is your answer stingy? It's because the opposite of generous. Okay, it's the opposite of generous and it's also the odd one. Wow.
The rest are synonyms.
Can you say it?
I said stingy seemed like the better option because the rest seemed like synonyms to the word generous.
Yeah, and here we are opting for opposites. Yeah, absolutely. You are
Yeah.
correct. Looking at the context, the man is very generous. He's a nice man. He's a kind man. Kind is friendly. They are just like synonyms. They are similar, polite, similar, but stingy is opposite. Yeah, you are simply correct. Let's move on to the next one. The results were accurate. Be careful here. The choices look very similar. Look closely at option A, B, and C. Why is it incorrect? Preferred over the wrong here. Okay, let's see. Let's see your choices. Incorrect, 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 incorrect. Yeah, absolutely. You're correct. The results were accurate. Accurate refers to details, figures, or results that are precise, correct, and free of computational errors. YC is correct. Incorrect directly negates scientific maths or objective factual precision, accurate results, or incorrect. Why others are wrong? Wrong is likely too informal. False is opposite of true. Careless describes the behavior of a person, not the characteristics of results data. So incorrect is the correct answer. Accurate, 100% incorrect. So that's negative. So please always pay attention to this. We are not just here to memorize past questions. We are here to understand why one is right and why one is wrong. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask me on the chat box. Let's move on to the next question, please. Okay, we have many questions. Be fast here. He gave a brief speech. She gave a brief speech. Okay, long. Yeah, brief means lasting a short time or using few words. The direct opposite is long, as you all said. Short is a direct synonyms. Clear and simple are descriptions of the quality of the speech, not its duration. Okay, we have another question here. The road was very narrow.
You already showed us the answer mistakenly. It
It
was
doesn't
wide.
matter. How about others that haven't seen that? I just want you to be familiar with the questions. Kindly pick the answers. Okay, wide. The opposite of narrow is wide. Why the answer is not broad? Broad can mean wide, but we typically use wide specifically for paths, roads, and opening, making it most precise pairing. Long short measures distance lengthwise, not width. So please always pay attention to the in-depth meaning, why others are not clear. Although you don't have time in the exam, but it's always important you understand the word functions. Okay, the next one is known for his honesty. Is known for his honesty. Yeah, dishonesty. The opposite of honesty is simply what? Dishonesty. If you are not honest, you are a dishonest person. It's as easy as that. Stubborn means headstrong, but a stubborn person can still obey rules eventually. Careless and lazy are flaws of effort, not direct defiance of authority. The next one, um, the child was obedient. The next one, the weather was pleasant. Yeah, that's simply the correct answer. Ash describes severe, extremely hot, cold, stormy, highly uncomfortable weather condition. However, good, calm, bright are all opposite descriptor that correlate closely with a pleasant atmosphere, not opposite. She is very optimistic. The next one, she is very optimistic. Let me see your answer. Yeah, pessimistic. An optimistic person is a hopeful and confident person, like someone that is really hopeful and confident about the future. A pessimistic person looks at the negative side and expects worst case scenarios. So that's the opposite. The opposite of optimistic is pessimistic. Hopeful is synonyms. Careful and happy do not address your outlook on future events. Next, we have another question. The answer was correct. What's the antonyms for that? Let me see. Wrong. Wrong. That's it. Wrong is the direct and standard everyday antonyms for correct. Right, true, and exact are all strong synonyms, not opposite. Next is a brave spider. He is a brave spider. He is a brave soldier, sorry. It's hilarious. He is a brave soldier. Brave relates to fear. And anatomies must focus on the state of fear itself. So that will be what, let me see your answers. Fearful. Fearful describes being filled with fear, timidity, or severe lack of courage. Okay, let's move on. The room was empty. The room was empty. Empty means containing nothing. So what's the opposite of that? When it's not empty, it will be what's full. Not quiet or clear or spacious. No. Full describing containing as much as possible, leaving no vacant space. It is the absolute opposite of empty. Clean describes sanitation level, quiet describes sound levels, spacious indicates plenty of free space, which actually aligns closer to empty, but that's not the answer. So it's full. That's why I said that you should pay attention to the context. She spoke in a polite manner. Please mute your mic. She spoke in a polite manner. This check behavioral vocabulary. Is soft and opposite of polite. She spoke in a polite manner. The correct answer is what? Let me
Rude.
see your rude. Yeah, exactly, rude. So you strike out the synonyms or words that are closely related with it. Rude means offensively impolite, bad-mannered, abrupt, or deeply discourteous, forming the exact antithesis. However, gentle, soft are characterized closely associated with politeness. Calm refers to peace, steadiness, rather than behavioral manner. Okay, the next one. The exam was easy. The exam was easy. Direct student, okay. So you should look out for simple, which act as direct synonym trap here. Easy, it will be what? That would be hard. It's so easy. Add the notes, tasks requiring great physical or mental strength, effort, or endurance. A direct opposite. However, simple is close synonyms. Some students will simply choose simple because they believe that it's related. They've forgotten that they are tackling antonyms question. Short describe physical or chronological duration, while clear describes high readability. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The building is ancient. The building is ancient.
Modern.
Please just simply just type your answer. You don't need to echo it to avoid noise or distraction. Please. I know you know it. Ancient refers to historical item or buildings originating from very distant past. Yeah. Modern means relating to present, so that's the direct opposite. Contemporary times, representing the direct current state of architecture. However, others are wrong. Old is general synonyms to what? Ancient. Broken specifies a physical state of destruction. Small relates only to a physical measurement. So, next we have another one. It gave a clear explanation.
Confusing.
Who is that? That person is distracting us. It gave a clear explanation. Okay, clear means highly coherent, transparent, and effortlessly easy to comprehend by the listeners. However, yeah, confusing describe the explanation that are mumbled, difficult to digest or understand, highly disorganized. So confusing is the correct answer. Others are wrong. Simple is synonyms, clear is synonyms to, yes, clear. Brief indicates the length, direct refers to the straight to, refers to straight to the point structure. We still have more. She felt happy. She felt happy. Let's see. Some students would simply quickly opt for excited and glad, forgetting that we are talking about antonyms here. But sad is the correct answer. Sad is the elemental emotion of sorrow or unhappiness, forming a direct opposite to joy and happiness. Glad, excited are highly positive symptoms, um, positive emotions. We still have more. The boy was strong. The boy was strong. Please make sure you participate. Participate, please. The boy was strong. So the correct answer is what? Is weak. Strong means having physical power and ability. Weak means lacking physical strength or energy. However, active, tall, fast describe attributes of movement and physique, but none mean powerless. So that's why I said the contents is most important thing for you to pay attention. So he is very careful. He is very careful. He is very careful. The answer is what? B. Careless. Careless means displacing a complete disregard for precision, safety, or semantic execution. Thank you. Cautious is direct synonym. Smart and quiet do not serve as direct opposites for situational attentiveness. The second to the last questions. The story was interesting. The story was interesting. The story was interesting. When something is not interesting, what is it? Which is what's boring. Interesting means holding the attention or provoking curiosity. Boring means dull and unexciting. Funny is another type of interesting element, long, short, only describe content structure or word count. The last is what? She is rich. She is rich. He is rich. So the answer is what? Poor. The answer is B, poor, which means having a great deal of money or assets. Poor means lacking sufficient money to live at a comfortable standard. Wealthy is the synonym trap. proud, and famous are distinct social conditions that are independent of a bank account balance. So lesson summary, I said that antonyms are fundamentally about opposite meaning in a specific context. Never rely purely on memorized dictionary definitions. It's always important you read the sentence correctly and try to analyze them and check for their word form, talking about the part of speech, which words do they represent, check the words around them, kindly understand the words. That way you can easily choose the opposite. Analyze first, always inspect the target words, part of speech, and structural environment before rushing to scan A to D, because A to D can be confusing. So first analyze the question properly. Filter out traps, disregard immediate synonyms placed strategically by examiners as bait. Eliminate and select the absolute best structural match.